Aloha everybody, welcome back to Vision Quest Astrology. David here for what will hopefully be an awesome astrological video. We can only hope so, right? So, yeah, I've made a couple of videos about Saturn in the first house, or Saturn Conjunct the Ascendant, which is a really huge and profound transit that everyone is usually going to go through at least usually 3 times in your life. Probably Saturn takes 30 years to transit your whole chart, so this will happen typically 3 times in your life, maybe 4 if you get really lucky. But for me, this started happening back in December 2014 when Saturn was first transitioning over into Sagittarius from Scorpio. All that to say, I've made a couple of these videos, just kind of Saturn update videos, as I like to call them, and a lot of you have responded pretty well to that, so I figured I will keep doing that through the course of this transit. Tired, just absolutely tired. That's something that I've found comes along with this transit a lot, is just a deep feeling of being very burnt out, being tired, feeling overworked, feeling spread very thin, and like the pace of life just picks up at major warp speed. You're looking around at everyone else at you who might not be going through the transit, and things seem to be going their regular speed like they've always been, but you look at you and how you're feeling and you're just like, gosh, I can barely manage my normal tasks, that I normally have to keep up with, along with all this other stuff that's being piled on top. And I think a big reason for that is because Saturn is about productivity. Saturn is really coming in and asking you to look at how you manage your life. Okay, how much are you investing here? How much of yourself are you putting there? How much are you putting out in that spot, and just like kind of like just super, not like super anal about it necessarily, but just making sure that you're taking care of yourself. And so even though it could be like, well, that makes no sense, Saturn feels like the one that's running me rugged and like taking all my energy up, but it's not really true. Saturn is testing you to see how you're expending of yourself. How well are you really taking care of you? An excessive worry about how others see you and how you're coming across to the world at large, be it when you're at work, when you're just out in public, when you're hanging out with friends, when you're even alone sometimes. Like, my gosh, just trying to make this video right now, I cannot tell you how many takes I've gone through, like just trying to, I don't know, just get the perfect frame or how it's set up, whatever, Saturn really does care about its self-image. And being in the first house, which is in our ascendant, that of our self-image, exactly, Saturn coming here is really polishing and, scraping away what's not working, and really wanting you to hone in on the areas of yourself that are working the most efficient, and wants you to become aware of what you're really good at and what you're not so good at, and where you can use some progress, and where you can use some maybe not as much attention. And so if you've never really thought about those kind of things a whole lot, how to best utilize you, because it's you, your personality, yourself. You're the one that's the creator of your life. You're the one that's going to make things happen for you. And oftentimes people don't want to take that kind of responsibility. Saturn's going to make you take that kind of responsibility, whether you like it or not. I've been coming up against this one time and time again, and it's a lesson that I think is worthwhile. It's really worthwhile. We all have a way of going through life, no matter how authentic, truthful, genuine we may think we are. We all put on masks. We all create versions of ourselves for different people we're around in different situations and circumstances. And it's something we all do. The way our world is structured nowadays, it's just kind of how it is. And Saturn here in the first house is really asking you to be aware when you're putting a mask on. when I'm around this person, when I'm at this place, when I'm doing this thing, and depending on what the social norms are constructed around that, how truthful, how authentic, how real am I being? It's kind of like you're going in the clothing store and you've had a certain style or a certain way of wearing and dressing for so long, and you're going in the changing room and you're just trying on all these different clothes, and you're coming out of the dressing room and you have, all of the people there in your life, let's just say at JCPenney, just looking at the new clothes you're putting on. You're asking, hey, what about this one? How does this look? Is this me? And you're trying to get everyone's opinions and you want to see what works and what doesn't. That's a big part of Saturn in the first house. You're exploring parts of you that you may not have even known were there. And there may be parts of you that you did know were there that you just never had the opportunity or the confidence to go into directly. And now you're doing that for the first time. You are finding you in the first house. The first house, the ascendant, it's the beginning of your whole chart. Your whole chart filters through the ascendant until you get to house 12 where it's ending and you're getting that closure and finality. Starting from this place, you're getting to ask yourself the important questions. What do I like? What do I not like? What do I want to implement in my life? What do I not want to have in my life? What kind of people do I want to be around? And who do I want to be around those people? What do I want them to know about me? What is me? Who am I? You're really learning how to relate to yourself in a potentially whole new way here. And you guys, Saturn. Saturn can often feel pretty rough, pretty relentless, but Saturn's just kind of really wanting to get it down packed, because if you don't get it down packed, if you don't really set that foundation, the whole structure is going to crumble. And the first house is the beginning of the structure of your whole chart, of the whole thing that is you. So this one, you really got to do it right. You really have to do it right. And Saturn's going to make sure of that. And because Saturn is usually in a house for anywhere between 2.5 to 3 years, as it goes back and forth between retrograde cycles, it's going to hit some of the same degrees like 3 and 4 times. And you can notice as it goes back and forth between those retrogrades, if you pay attention to the degrees it goes at, you can track yourself. Okay, this is where I was here, and then it goes direct, and then goes retrograde and hits that degree again. Okay, I see this theme, this cycle repeating itself. And sometimes it's like, oh, this is so annoying. I just want to be done with this. But there's a bigger purpose. There's some meaning there. There's a reason that these persistencies are keeping up and they're not just going away like we wish they would sometimes. Because I know it can definitely feel that way, but practice makes perfect. Saturn really believes that one here. Really implementing a good dose of self-love here and being patient with yourself, being kind with yourself, and being just simply that, being with yourself. Just allowing yourself to be with you and to have a relationship with yourself. I think it's so easy to go through life and worry about the face we're putting on for everybody, but we don't even know who we are in the process. And in this time of Saturn through the first year, for a couple of years, really getting the time to zero in on and hone in on and focus on you, just you for a little while. And I urge you all, take advantage of this time. If you maybe don't feel like doing the things you used to do and being the person you used to be and all of it, cut yourself some slack, because guess what? You don't have to. You don't have to be who you were. You don't have to do the things you did or necessarily like all the people you used to like. I've had a lot of that lately. I've had a lot of friendships and things I used to do and just interests that have just all gone to the wayside. That I was like, God, these people, these things, these places I was so passionate about, I'm just not anymore. Like, what the hell? And feeling like there was something wrong with me because of it. But I'm here to remind anyone going through that there's not something wrong with you. This is actually quite normal through this transit. You are just reforming your whole sense of self. And so please be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Take it easy on you, and just know that you're kind of in this cocooning stage right now, and that there's this butterfly kind of wanting to come out. Because I do feel that, a lot of the work that you are putting into your self structure right now, you really aren't going to see till Saturn goes into your second house, because that's when you're really forming the real foundation of it, and you're going to start seeing physical results. Because with it in the first, it's like you feel like you're putting so much focus and energy on it there, but you can't see it yet because it's still being made. The painting is still being painted. You haven't seen the masterpiece yet. And it's not till Saturn moves on to the next house that you really get to see all that it really was doing, even behind the scenes, until you get to see that final picture, that final masterpiece. So you're airbrushing, you're painting, you're taking the eraser and kind of seeing, okay, this isn't working. Let's add a little more there. Take a little more away there, and just kind of putting the whole thing together. But so yeah, be gentle with yourself. Be kind. Love all that is you. Work with Saturn. Let Saturn be an ally. When Saturn feels like the enemy, that's when it's going to be the suckiest transit ever. But when you see this is an ally, this is a friend, this is some planetary being working in your highest interest, you're going to get the absolute best out of it. So I hope this transit is treating you all well. I will continue to make these videos probably every couple of months, and to keep you all in the loop. Please feel free to leave your experience in the comments below. Let me know how it's been for you. I love hearing from you guys about this. And check out my website, visionquesthealing.com, if you want to book a Saturn transit reading with me. I just find that it is so beneficial and helpful to be aware of, the aspects that Saturn is making to your planets, and what part of the first house it's in, and just become aware of what's really going on. And it can just be so helpful to move forward, and how this planet can be used for your best interests. So thank you for watching, everybody. May the force be with you. Happy transiting, and much aloha.